Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing our exploration of the R programming language, and we're going to be introducing a quick tutorial on how to make some of your graphical analysis a little bit more colorful, impactful, and a little bit more adaptable in terms of what you would want to change in terms of the graph and the RStudio environment. So the library that we're going to be working with is usually referred to as GGPlot or sometimes GGPlot2, and it pretty much makes all of your base R graphs a little bit more nicer and appealing to the audience. Now at first it is a little bit of an overwhelming experience because there's so many things that you can do with your graphs. So what this video is going to be aimed for is definitely those of you who have never used GGPlot before and want to sort of transition from the base R graphical structure to the GGPlot structure, and then it can sort of experiment with the documentation of the GGPlot library to sort of adapt to what you actually want to graph. So the first thing that I want to do is mention that I've read a CSV file into this to sort of show you some graphs or some data, but you can use whatever CSV file you want. So if you've never installed GGPlot2, then this line of code is the first thing that you should place in R and give that line a run. If you already have GGPlot2, this line will not install it again. That's what this little if not statement is actually going to do. So if it's not installed already on your personal computer, this line will install it for you. And once it is installed, then you can use this line, library GGPlot2, to bring it into your current working environment. Once you have everything installed, now we're ready to get into the graphical structure. Now the first thing that I want to do is sort of show you the quote-unquote old way of graphing data in R. And on the surface, it's actually not that bad, but it's not that customizable. So let's assume that we want to plot on the horizontal axis age. So I'm going to do my data, then age, and then we're going to do prior experience for this job, whatever that may be, on the vertical axis. Now, to do titles in the base R programming world, that's going to be the parameter main. So let's do prior experience versus age. So that's going to be the title. And then PCH is equal to 16 is the style of the point you want to plot with. CEX is going to be the size of the point you want to plot with. COL is going to be the color that you want to plot with. And then you can also label the axis XLAB. For example, this is going to be equal to age. You can also label the Y label axis as YLAB, and this is going to be prior experience. Right? So if I give this multi-line a run, that will graph your data for you. Right? And of course we can insert a line into this particular structure by calculating, for example, the slope and the line of best fit. So if you don't remember how to calculate the slope and the line of best fit, let's just do a quick calculation. So the slope is going to be the correlation of age with your prior experience, and then we're going to be multiplying by the standard deviation of the Y variable. In this case, that's going to be prior experience. And then we're going to divide by the standard deviation of our age variable. That's going to be our independent variable. So that's going to be our slope. And then the intercept, which I'm going to call B, is going to be equal to the mean of Y, which is going to be prior experience. So prior experience minus the slope times the mean of the independent variable, age. Once you have those two things calculated, we can do AB line to overlay a line on our plot, and then we can do B for the intercept, M for the slope, and then we can do LTY, which is going to be the line type, which, for example, solid line or dotted line or double dotted line. And if you do 2, that's going to give you a dotted. And then we can do COL is equal to red. Right? So once we do that, that's going to graph your data set with a dotted red line associated to your least squares regression line. So that's how we used to do graphs in R. Now let's assume that you want to make things a little bit more fancy and have a little bit more flexibility with how you display your data. Now the first thing that you want to do if you want to generate a plot of your data using the GGPlot library is to create what is called a GGPlot structure. So a ggplot structure you can actually save sort of like a variable, and you can update the variables in that structure at any point in time for which you wish. This is extremely useful if you're doing real-time animations or displays such as stock market analysis, where you might have multiple graphs going on and you might have to update certain graphs at certain times that is not in a consistent or continuous manner. So the ggplot way, and let's put a little comment here, so the ggplot way is to first create a ggplot structure. So I'm going to call this ggplot structure, I'm going to call it G, and what we're going to do is use the function ggplot, and the only main input that you need to give ggplot structures is your data frame or data matrix, which I've stored in my data. So the aesthetics, which is going to be abbreviated by AES, so these are all of your little visual details. The first thing that you put in this ggplot structure is the horizontal and vertical components, which are going to be the class names inside of this data frame. So keep in mind we had my data $, and we have all of these classes. So once you choose two of these, you can put the first one in your first component of AES and your Y variable in your second component of AES. So for example, if we want age on the horizontal and prior experience in the second component, then that will create your ggplot structure. So if you give that a run, that's going to create that object. Now you might be wondering, oh, nothing came up. That's kind of odd. Maybe if we clear these plots out and give that another run, maybe it'll come up again. And you see, oh, nothing came up. Keep in mind when you assign things to an object, they won't display by default. For example, if you do x is equal to 2 plus 2, it will not display the value of 2 plus 2 here unless you just do 2 plus 2, right? So if we actually just type g here, instead of the assignment of g, that's going to display your ggplot object, right? So now we have this graphical window, age on the horizontal, prior experience on the vertical axis, but notice that these axis titles are not that nice, at least especially for prior experience. So to add new objects to your ggplot structure, you just do the plus command. And you can go to other lines if you want, for example, plus and then new line, and then we can do xlab. That's going to be age, and then we're going to add a Y label characteristic, and this is going to be equal to prior experience. And then we can update that ggplot object and then display, and that's going to give us our updated ggplot object. Notice that there are no points here or titles, so how would you add a title? So to add a title in ggplot, you would just add ggtitle, and then this is going to be prior experience versus age. So that's going to give us our center title. Now you might be like, oh, I don't like it on the left hand side. Is it possible that I can do it in the center? Indeed you can. So that's just a theme change is what we call it in the ggplot world. So the theme is going to be plot.title is equal to element and then text and then h just is equal to 0.5. So it's the middle point of that correspondence, so the horizontal adjustment. So once you do that, that should update everything there, right? And it's not test, it's text, T-E-X-T, spelled it wrong. There we go. So that's going to give us our center adjusted title. Now in the older versions of ggplot, it actually will default it to center justification, but the newer versions it defaults it to the left, but that's how you change it to center again. Right. Now again, notice our points are not plotted, so we would have to add points that represent our data. So we're going to add our points, and to do that we're going to do geom and then point, and then we're going to do color, and let's do a different color now. Let's do Dodger blue, and then also let's add the shape. Let's do geom point. Let's do shape is equal to 21. You can experiment with all these different shapes. So once we have that and then give that a run, that's going to plot all of our points just like we did before, right? But it is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, at least on the surface, but there's definitely lots of things you can add to this shape. So that's going to give us our ggplot structure. Let's add to it our original things. Now, if you don't want to add things to this line, for example, you can update the value of g just like usual with variables. So we're going to do the new g is equal to the old g plus, and let's add a AB line again. So AB line, so the intercept is going to be equal to b, the slope is going to be equal to m. Let's do a maroon color here, and then line type, let's do dashed, and then size is going to be, let's do 1.2. So once we do that and then give that a rerun, that's going to give us our line of best fit as usual. And let's see, let's actually add a little bit more fancy things to it. Let's actually shade those points with respect to, say, the hours worked, because we have age here, prior experience here, and let's assume that we don't want to create a three-dimensional graph. Let's sort of color these points on some particular color scale with respect to the hours worked, and see if we see any patterns between age and prior experience with that particular variable. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to do g is equal to g plus, so we're updating that geometric structure. So we're going to add points, but we're going to do them in an aesthetic way. So we're going to aesthetic color is equal to hours worked. Right? So once you do that, obviously, on the surface nothing changes, but notice that actually the colors of those points change with respect to the value of hours worked. So notice if we look at this graph on the left-hand side, we see the darker points on the left-hand side and the lighter points in the upper side. So that means as age and prior experience increases, the expected amount of hours worked for that employee should also increase as well. So let's do a couple more additions to this. So what we can do is we can add different color gradients. So we can do, for example, scale, color, and then gradient 2. Now you see all these options that sort of come up when I start to tab. That's all of the customizations that ggplot offers, and it definitely takes a while to learn them all, and you'll probably never know all of them because there's just so many. So let's just make sure that it's doing a color gradient with respect to the hours worked. So we're going to do name is equal to hours worked. Now, by default, it will label that color gradient on the right-hand side, but this is how you can actually change the name of that color label. So if we give that a run, notice that now we have that particular structure. Right? So once we have that, then we can add more fun and excitement. So let's add the color range, let's say. So let's scale the color gradient. For low values, right now it's about white, and high values is about dark purple. So let's do low is equal to, let's do royal blue. And then high values, let's assume that's going to be orchid, right? So give that a run. That's going to update your color ranges. So you can make any color you want, and it will create the gradient for you, which I think is very, very awesome. And also this title for that color bar actually looks very, very strange. So what I want to do is I actually want to put that on the right. So to do that, we're going to add our guide. So it's going to be color is equal to guide color bar, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do title.position equals right. Right, so that's going to put it on the right, and now you're like, oh, now my title for my color bar is taking up too much room. Is it possible that I can rotate it, say 90 degrees or something like that? And indeed you can. So let's just add our theme, because we're changing the theme of our default. So we're going to do legend.title, and then we're going to do element text, not tests. Right, so element text. And then we're going to do a rotation by 90 degrees. And let's also actually, oh, too many parentheses. Let's give that a run and see what happens there. So notice that it changes the name of our object again, which is actually kind of annoying. It also doesn't center justify it with respect to our object, right? So let's add a couple more things again. So let's do legend.title.align is equal to 0.5. And then let's do legend.key.height is equal to, because notice that the legend doesn't really cover much of that distance of that actual plot, and this is going to depend on the resolution of your image, but let's do 1.5 centimeters to see if that's actually going to cover a significant part of our range. So once we give that a run, notice that now it has adjusted everything in terms of our ggplot structure. Now you of course might notice that the label of this graph used to be hours worked without that underscore, and now it has sort of reverted back to the old one. Some of these commands of the aesthetics of the ggplot structure will overwrite past ones, so you sometimes might have to update those particular structures. So remember, in order to set the name, all we needed was this particular object here, and this actually took into consideration the color. So let's actually rerun those, because if we just rewrite this object, then what we're going to have is we're going to have this is going to be equal to G plus that rename of that label. And then that's going to recolor everything, and you're like, oh, but I missed those other colors, right? So if we actually grab that and then update with respect to that color and then rerun, and then we have this, oh, now it goes back to that particular underscore thing, right? So you can stack elements, but sometimes these objects will interact with each other. So definitely spending a lot of time with ggplot will help you sort of understand which is the best way to do things and in what sequence. But this, of course, is not here to give you a mastery of ggplot, just to get your feet wet with all of the things that ggplot actually has to offer. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to see more details on how to use ggplot 2, feel free to leave a comment in the comments below. See you next time.